All right. Welcome back to Define Insanity. Joseph. So, I bumped into an old friend of mine that I had, well, not really a friend, like someone that I knew in high school at Trader Joe's. And I haven't seen him in 20 years. You know how freaking awkward that is. I hate it. Like, you just start talking to him about, like, what have you been doing? Like, how do you answer a question? Hey, how are you? What have you been up to? Like, for the last 20 years, I don't fucking know. I've been, like, living and trying not to die. Now I'm sober and, like, I'm here. Like, fuck you. What are you doing? I got 3 kids. Like, oh, everything about the kids. I love it. It's great. Good. You have kids. I just don't really want to talk to you anymore, but it's, like, very awkward to, like, how do you end this? Like, how do you end this without seeming rude? You ever deal with anything like that?
Yeah, but I just pet their face awkwardly, and that seems to work.
There you go.
Like, right away.
Yeah. That's the problem.
As soon as I see them, I'm like, Jake, it's so good to see you.
That's so genius.
Well, yeah, I've been doing this a long time.
Oh, man. I had to, like, endure a 5-minute conversation in, like, the fruit section about, like, nothing.
Oh, see, I would have grabbed a banana or something and just started, like, massaging it.
Oh, these are great. I'm going to write this down. So
I'm very good at making people uncomfortable and awkward.
I could have just grabbed a banana and started, like, gently massaging it
just
in the
tip,
beginning.
Just flicking the tip.
Right.
Oh, that's great. How's your mom?
Right. You know, yes. This is so genius, Joe. Oh. Now I regret firing you as my sponsor.
Speaking of bumping into people, have you bumped into Sal recently?
No. Sal's still missing.
Where's Sal?
I don't know. And I still haven't gotten any of the cryptic texts from him. Nothing now lately. It's just radio silence from him. I hope he doesn't become one of those guys you bump into in 20 years from now and have to have an awkward conversation with.
He's going to be. What are you going to do? You better grab a banana quick or something.
I don't know.
Send out an Amber Alert.
Yeah.
Get the cops involved. Do something because Sal is still missing.
People, if you see or hear from Sal, please call the podcast, leave a message. We'll put a number up, 555 live, something. Yeah.
Call me, 516-445-8230. I will come pick him up.
Justin loves putting out his phone number. That's his actual phone number.
Yeah, because he's already wrote it on every man stall here to fucking Kentucky.
So what's going on? Everything go with you this week?
Everything was good. Yeah. I got fired as a sponsor, so that was a little.
Yeah, I fired him as a sponsor because
it was a little upsetting.
He's just doing too many things together, and he's always talking about his dick. It's like, dude, I just want to talk about recovery. He's like, oh, but what about my penis? I'm like, dude, end it. So I got a new sponsor. I like him.
You're never going to talk about penis again, though.
That's no. Well, I don't know. We'll see. What
recovery is fun, but dick and recovery is a lot more fun, in my opinion.
Yes, that's true.
That's how you really learn and gain freedom.
Yes.
Nothing. My week was pretty good. Didn't really do too much. Still got ants. I don't know how to get rid of them. Now,
what are we talking about again? Like the insects or the
No.
Your father's
insects.
sister.
No, we talked about this already.
Okay, ants. I get confused when you say it like that. It just sounds. How was any one of the listeners in the podcast was supposed to know?
If any of the listeners think that when I say I got ants, I'm talking about aunties. Like, why would I be? Of course.
Well, you're Italian. You're Catholic. You got a big family. They come over. Oh, it's Sunday dinner. They come.
We agree to just use the word aunt.
Aunt.
And then that way,
aunties.
Yeah,
but I don't have aunts. I don't have aunts. I
have
have ants. You fucking momo.
When you're talking about your father's sister, you got to say aunt.
I would have if I was talking about that.
Wait. So what are we talking about here?
Ants. You fucking hump.
You keep saying that. I'm not sure. Like you. Yeah. Yes. Aunts.
Not aunts. Ants, like the little insects, those fucking...
Yes. Okay, so bugs.
Yeah, so that's really... I still got that going on, work was good. I almost had a road rage moment.
You always have road rage.
No. I'm getting better. You know what? I just don't understand. My car, I can't wait to give back. They make these cars for like fucking blind idiots. My brakes are going to go. Not because of me, because every time I try and back up, I know where I am. I have 18 fucking cameras. The thing stomps on the brake. I'm like 3 feet away. So I'm driving, and like one of those, you get to the stop sign almost the same time as somebody else.
Yeah.
This is one of my pet peeves. There's a way to wave people past, Like when I do it, I'm like, go ahead. I just put my hand up gently, folks, and then said, the right of way is yours. I hate those motherfuckers that just wave at you.
You're talking about like all-way stop signs and there's like multiple
and
stop signs
and
and an all-way stop sign.
You get there at the same time,
Yeah.
and they're just like, go. You could see it, like in their mug.
Right.
They're fucking
They're
hand.
angry.
I don't want to go now. Now I'm going to
Fuck
stop,
you.
and I'm
You
going to,
go.
no, you go.
Yeah.
And I went on a back and forth for like 10 minutes. You go, inching up.
Sometimes I feel
Very
like it's a
uncomfortable.
flex when someone waves me on.
It is. They
That's
think
what
they're
I'm saying.
better
It's like
than
they
you.
feel like they're better than me. Like,
Yeah,
I'll
fuck
let you go.
That's exactly what I'm talking. You don't tell me what
It's
to
not
do.
hostile. It's just kind of like a
Passive-aggressive.
yeah. I know what you're saying. It's a weird.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fuck those people.
Yeah. Because 3 different people could wave me by, and it's one of them's polite. The other 2 are very aggressive.
Angry.
Yeah.
Angry little twerps.
Yeah,
And
I
you know
like
what?
that.
I don't give a shit. I'm calling the shots. If it's an all-way stop sign and I'm in a rush, I'm going first. If
So
I'm
you
not
mean
in a
you're
rush,
that jerk off?
Yeah, well, maybe. I'm going first if it's an all-way stop sign if I'm in a rush, because all-way means it's a free-for-all. I think I learned that in driver's ed. If it's an all-way stop sign, it's pretty much a free-for-all. But if I'm not in a rush, then I'm gonna.
But you were supposed to yield to the right. If everybody shows up at the same time, you yield to the person to the right of you.
yield.
Really? Jesus.
Supposed to yield.
How the hell do you know that?
I don't know. Long fucking time ago.
I'm gonna get
Yield
into
to
an
the
accident
right.
and be like, you should have fucking yielded. You should have yielded.
I'm gonna get out of my car and just yell at him. Yield! Yield to the right! Yield to
I'm
the
the
right!
guy
you
on the right.
fucking bastard!
I'm the guy on the right. Well, that's why. One of the things I thought about doing for my road rage, and it's gotten a lot better.
It's not better. You yell. I'm on the phone with you. You yell the most horrible, disgusting things at people.
Yeah, but those people are different. They deserve it. What I'm talking about is like the innocence, like that. Because again, I have plenty of flaws. I know I have to leave 5 minutes before I think I have to leave. But I keep on wanting to do the same shit. And then when people are driving a normal speed at 5 a.m., it's too slow for Joe. Everybody get out of my way because I'm a selfish prick. But
5 a.m.
5 a.m.
No one's on the road at 5 a.m.
Oh, yeah. There's plenty of people on the
Middle
road.
of the night.
No.
I work around my schedule. That's it,
Anyway, so what I'd like to do about the road rage thing was I had an idea. What if I made a bunch of sticky dildos, right? So instead of, like when I was younger, I was an asshole. I used to throw Snapple bottles at people and fucking little sawed-off bats. I was just fucking out of my mind. But I've gotten a lot better. I haven't gotten into any kind of incident like that for a very long time. I give people the right of way a lot of times, But
Now that's an exaggeration.
it would be pretty funny. Think about it. If somebody cut you off, if somebody did something stupid and they were being a dick. Imagine just driving by and whizzing a fucking dildo at them and it just smacks on their windshield or window. Yeah, pop,
Yeah,
like slime,
sticks-
and they look at it. and
sticks
it's
a
just
little
like
bit and slides
big,
down.
giant
Yeah.
purple cock. Like
Yeah,
that would be hysterical.
Awesome. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So if you want one, stickydick.com. What's the code?
That's probably a
Hoser.
real website.
Yeah,
so.
it's not-
Promo
it's
code
not-
Define Insanity.
Yeah.
We have a deal with them.
StickyDick.com is definitely a real website.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, let's Google it.
I don't know if I want that in my search
All
history.
right, anyway, enough about my week. I got ants. I got road rage. What do you got? You got a
Got
guess?
sticky dicks.
I got sticky dicks.
You know what? We do have a guest, and he is actually a ninja. He's a
Get
ninja.
right out of town.
Yeah, he's a ninja. Yeah, he's he's in the green room upstairs. Want to calm down? Let's calm down.
Wait a minute. We got a green room?
Yeah, we have a green room.
That
yeah.
fucking cage up there with the
Yeah.
half-eaten meat?
Yeah, that's craft services, dude.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
All right, I
let's
never
calm
know.
down. Ninja Mike, come on down. All right, that's too many foot. One of us.
He's
has
a
to do
fucking
it at a
ninja, this
time.
guy. He's all over the place.
Don't beat that
Around
fast.
like a jungle
Crazy
cat.
legs.
Mike, what's up, brother?
What's up, guys? How you doing tonight?
Very good. Very good. How are you?
I'm living the dream.
Dude, thanks for coming. This
You're
is
welcome.
awesome.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Justin told me a lot of good stuff, especially the
It's
part
all
about
bullshit.
you being a ninja.
It's all bullshit. It's complete.
He's a ninja.
Wait, Justin doesn't talk bullshit.
He exaggerates my bullshit a little bit.
Mike, you're Catholic, right?
I am.
Let me ask you a quick question.
Which means I'm a liar.
This was bothering me for a while on the way here, and I just wanted to ask a Catholic, and Joe's a fake Catholic. So let me ask you: with the holy water, does it stay holy water when it becomes ice? Like, can you
even freeze it?
can
is
you
the
make
question.
right well,
Once it gets
yeah.
blessed, can you freeze it?
Can you make holy ice?
Molecularly, can it freeze? Is that what you're asking?
Does it stop being
I don't-
holy
that's-
water when it
that's what
becomes
I'm
ice
saying.
or gas?
I've
Like,
never
when
been.
it
I've never been
changes?
asked that question before, but I assume that in its frozen state, it's now frozen holy water.
So, because I was sick. I was watching a vampire movie the other night, John Carpenter's Vampires, and I was thinking like how much of a weapon that would be if they made holy water snowballs to fight the vampires, and no movie has done that.
Or what about like icicles? Fucking to shoot bow and arrows.
This is
Oh my God.
10 million vampire movies. Not one writer or director has came up with this idea. I think it's genius.
Yeah, but then you go into the question that Casey brought up. If it's blessed and it becomes holy water, shouldn't it kind of not be able to be?
So when it
weaponized?
changes,
Yeah, no, not even weaponized, but just
vampire is a different story.
to change it to ice or to
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
When it changes, what's it called? Phases? KC.
Yes.
He's the science guy?
Yeah.
No.
He's just the answers guy.
He's a lot smarter than
I'm a
both of us.
podcasting barber, but I'll take a swing at this one.
So when it changes phases, so it's still holy water. Joe says no. It stops being holy water when it changes to
No, what I'm
gas or
saying
ice.
is if it's truly holy water, I would think it stays that and it doesn't. You can't turn it into ice. You can't make it evaporate.
Oh, but that's-
because it's
Can you
blessed.
put it in
and
a
it's-
humidifier? Can it become a gas?
Right, because if it becomes a gas, like when it evaporates, is then the holy water just in the air?
Oh, that's your premise, that it stays holy water and it does not change into anything else.
My
Like at the end of the mass, the priest drinks it. It doesn't become anything else.
Oh,
It
it's so
goes into
gross. You
him.
can't drink it. Everyone puts their
they
fingers
drink
in
it?
it.
Oh, I want some of that.
Disgusting.
Priests are nasty. That's,
Yeah.
That's a different
man.
show.
Yeah,
Get you some holy water right now on eBay. What do
Yeah,
you need?
exactly.
Yeah, let's get some holy water and see if it evaporates. Because if it evaporates, that's a gas. If it doesn't evaporate, then Joe's right, and it's it just stays the way it is. Or we could freeze it.
Or it's bullshit and it's just water.
Isn't that just Poland Springs? No, it's holy
Nah, it's the
water
Catholic
now.
Church. It's definitely tap water.
My mother always taught me that. She's like, you don't need to go to a priest to confess yourself. God's everywhere.
I
Like
see. Told you.
you don't need a middleman, basically.
He's not there on Saturday between
Right.
3 and 5 o'clock in a booth.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So
So your question for Mike was that the holy water?
Yeah, can holy water be used in, as snowballs or icicles to kill vampires?
All right, what do you think, Mike?
I'm thinking no.
I gotta get some.
Put it in
facts
a
on
water
this.
gun, put it in a big soaker or something like that. But as soon as you turn it to ice,
See that?
I'm thinking no. Way more fun than throwing
I
snowballs.
just think it would be cool for a movie script. Like have a vampires in like Alaska.
Well, you could still do it from. Look at some of the movies that come on. It doesn't need to make sense.
Vampires in Alaska throwing snowballs.
Right? This is my vampire idea.
Yeah.
Vampires in Alaska because there's 6 months of darkness in Alaska, right? That's a vampire heaven.
Yeah, but I feel like the vampire. There's not many people there. They'd starve after a little while. They'd run through those people.
Well, listen, you can't win every battle here, but 6 months of darkness is like there's no sun. These vampires can just they run, they own the land for like you don't have to wait. Oh, the sun's coming up. Oh, I'm a vampire. I gotta go hide. No,
Yeah.
And
we're not talking
the
about.
Eskimos come up with the Eskimos come up with the idea if we just freeze this holy water.
Yes, the Eskimos, and the Eskimos
Wait,
are like
they
have a
got-
lot of
They'll
blubber.
go to Washington or Oregon.
Wait, hold on a second.
Eskimos are like short and stocky. They look like they have good, tasty blood in them. I would think.
Yeah, but wait, there's
And
Catholic
Jameson in them.
Eskimos.
Catholic Eskimos.
What are we doing?
Mike, are
Where are we
Eskimos-
going?
I do not know the
Yeah.
religion.
Wait, Casey, is Eskimo a derogatory term now?
I don't know.
I know midget
good
is.
question.
I can't say midget. I heard Eskimo is too. But I don't-
Eskimo is
Why, Eskimos
it's a
aren't
people,
midgets?
isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
People?
I
gotta
get
look
them
this up.
confused. Are Eskimos and midgets the same
I
thing?
don't know. I once knew an Eskaho. She was fantastic.
Ask
Little girl.
GPT if the name Eskimo
Joe, can you add a rim shot after Joe's
my
little Eskaho?
A rim shot. I like that.
Esco. Oh
All right, so Ninja Mike. Let me ask you a question, Ninja Mike.
Shoot.
I'm going to bust you a serious question after all that. So you are recovered from cancer, right?
Yes.
Yes. So how long have you been in remission, is it called?
Yep. I go back for testing every 6 months, but it's been 2018-ish was the last time.
Oh, what a
The
miracle.
last time I went into for a procedure, if you may.
And it was scary.
It was scary,
yeah.
scary as F. It was right before I went into LICR.
Oh, I met Mike in a rehab in LICR 6 years ago.
Mhm.
Yeah. And he didn't tell me that.
Nope.
When I was there, I found out after that he had cancer, but I didn't know.
I'm sure
No,
it's
no,
not the
actually,
first
sorry.
thing you-
Sorry, I didn't meet Mike at LICR. I re-met Mike at LICR. I met Mike. He was a speaker at Seafield years earlier at another rehab I was at. I've been to like 10 rehabs. And he was the speaker, like the outside speaker. They bring in outside speakers. And he was one of the speakers that came in to motivate and be inspire. What do they call it? The HI commitment or whatever?
HI commitment.
Yeah, HI commitment.
That's it.
Yeah. So he was there to motivate. And then I see him in rehab about 5 years later, roughly. He's in the same rehab. I'm like, Mike, you're the guy that spoke at my other rehab. What happened? And then you say, well, a lot of shit happened. Not good.
What do you want me to start?
Yeah,
How much time you got?
Yeah, one of the suggestions in AA is not to get involved with a woman, and I didn't take that suggestion. While in the process of a separation and a divorce, I got involved with a woman.
The women are the real vampires. They suck your blood. Succubus.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Mike,
It was worse than I ever thought.
Yeah.
I want to get to that. I want to hear all about that, especially going there. How long you were sober before you got back? But why don't you tell the guest a little bit about yourself? Just give us some background information, where you come from, family, stuff like that.
No problem. Born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, product of the public school system. Mother and father. My mom was the other woman that my dad hooked up with. Crazy stuff going on in my house, a very dysfunctional house. My dad actually was still married and running back and forth between two houses. He had 2 children on one side and 3 daughters and me in the other house. And it was a mess. Pretty dysfunctional. We were very poor, actually, retrospectively speaking.
So you had 3 sisters?
I had 3 sisters and a stepsisters, 2 above and 2 below.
House of women.
It was absolutely crazy. Great for a dating guy when I hit puberty, but but it was absolutely insane.
So Brooklyn, around what years were this?
This was right up until I graduated high school in '82. Got out of college in '85. Did not graduate. Got out in '85 before I started doing some of my own stuff. So really,
Brooklyn in the 70s.
Brooklyn in the '70s and early '80s.
Wow.
All those really cool movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We were all drinkers, all druggers. Eventually I became best friends with my sister, Gina, and we drank and drugged and played in bands together and did some absolutely crazy
Gina's
things.
older sister or younger?
Gina is exactly 15 months younger than me.
Wow.
Were you guys always close?
We were close until she started getting involved with the wrong guys, and then we kind of fell apart. I started battling alcoholism and drug addiction really early. Tried to actually solve the problem really early, and she continues to struggle today. I don't know who am I to judge, but she still she made some really bad choices, and I judged her, and we fell apart. I'm really only really close with my little sister Diana right now.
So she used to be your best friend in childhood, and now you're like estranged.
We are definitely estranged. I'm godfather to our one son, so I still speak to this guy. And
You're a godfather.
I call the house, and she's always drunk, and it's really hard to listen to that stuff, especially in recovery.
Yeah, no, I can imagine that's tough. And especially you were close to her when you were younger. It's not like you got close when you guys had the same similarities like drinking. You were always close and then just became like...
Yeah, we were actually drinking and drugging buddies for a while. She introduced me to the band guys that I would eventually play with for a little while. I'm an amateur drummer, a jack of all trades, master of none. So
I love that you say that because I'm a jack of all trades, master of none too. And I used to think of that as like a negative thing all the time, until I got sober and started looking at it. I like that I'm well-rounded now. And I'm all over the place anyway. So even though I focus on something and get good at it, I appreciate that about me now that I can pick up different things because, being like that, if you learn something quick, it just makes it easier to learn the next thing.
Yep.
So
for me, it was a negative connotation with that because I never really finished anything. And then there was that boredom thing too. And I got bored with stuff really, really quickly. And, but now in sobriety, it's the complete opposite.
Exactly.
It plays into that. I'm not afraid to actually try some things. I adapt really, really well.
Yes.
You had mentioned you had mentioned earlier an ant problem.
The insects.
The insects, not the auntie problem. The ant problem.
My ants are a real pain in the ass.
Wait, where'd you hear that? From the green room? We got speakers in there?
Yes, indeed.
Oh, wow.
I listen to the show. I listen to the show. I try to listen to the show. And I just started a new job at a pest company. And
you did?
They are literally training me to be a home inspector. And I'm starting the 6th different career in my life. And
that's awesome. Good
and
for you.
Once again, in this particular case, I'm excited about it. In the past, it would have been something I would have...
6 different careers, just like my dad.
6 different
careers.
That's
amazing.
Absolutely
awesome,
crazy.
It's like I couldn't even imagine to be able to do that. Like I've been an actor and a comedian since I was like 14 years old. And I'm very hesitant to try anything new, and I see my dad on like his 6th career, all 6 successful. And I hear you talking about 6 careers. Like, and Joe, how many you got? Like what, like 4 or 5 careers you've done already?
Yeah. Even more than that.
Even more than
I've had
that.
so many different jobs.
Right. That's right. You worked in the boiler room. You were like slinging stocks and, oh my
Not
God.
stocks.
Whatever you were doing.
Websites that didn't exist.
Junk bonds, websites didn't exist.
Yeah. And other stuff that did it, but just not what they were paying for. Not what they were paying for.
Yeah.
But Mike, I want to get into your background. I also you obviously got into the fact that you were drinking and drugging early with your sister, with a bunch of guys. But do you remember what attracted you to the drink? And if you remember your first drink or anything like that, or just the situation, what that was like, could you explain to the listeners kind of your viewpoint as a kid and where it took you?
It's Joe's favorite question.
Yeah, I remember it like it was yesterday. Actually, growing up in Brooklyn, I was bullied a lot. So I was the shortest guy in my class. If you grew up in Brooklyn and you went to a public school system, and your last name began with the letter A, you were first row, first seat, and they would march you in the halls. It was a little bit different than it is today. So when we went to assemblies, I was always the first guy in line and stuff like that. And small guy with a big mouth type of thing. And guys would literally pick on me, push me into the walls, push me into lockers, and hot dog with mustards and beans on the back of my shirt and stuff like that. And I was picked on for the longest time. And I think I had just turned 13. In Brooklyn, you drink in parks on basketball courts, and you guys drink in Long Island. You drink in woods and fall on leaves and or sand at a beach.
Yeah, I used to drink at a handball court too. When
you face plant. When you're but I remember going to with 2 of my buddies, and my sister's boyfriend had bought me 3 pints of Jack Daniels. He said that was the drink you're going to drink. That's what men drink.
That's a good drink.
It was a good drink.
How old are you again?
I am 13 years old. I go to Seaview Park in Brooklyn. I'm on the basketball court with my 2 buddies. I drink I should have known then. I drink mine down. I pass out. I wake up. I've pissed myself. I vomited all over myself.
Straight Jack pint.
Straight Jack pint. First drink out of the block.
Manliest first drink I've ever heard of.
I wake up. My buddies had not finished their drink. Yeah. And I'm looking at vomit. I'm looking at pee. True story, guys. It's a program of rigorous honesty. All right. I wake up. I look at this stuff, and I was like, well, they're not going to use that. I drank theirs and re-passed out and re-pissed myself and re-vomited. Wow, and it was a disaster. I went home to my mom and dad.
Right out the gate.
Had the Jack Daniels hangover. For 2 days, it was brutal. I couldn't wait to do it again. What I remember most about that is while I was drinking, it burned like hell, and it does not taste good, contrary to popular belief.
No, it doesn't.
It just doesn't. For me, it doesn't anyway. But I remember what they talk about in the rooms. It made me feel 6 foot tall. I was telling the funniest shit, funny stories. I just felt different. And I was like, wow, this is what I need to be doing regularly.
Wow. Waking up in a puddle of your own piss and vomit, and you're like, I need more of this.
This is what I want to do with the rest of my life.
Yeah, we could get past that for a temporary feeling of good. But
fact.
Was there a point before that where you viewed alcohol and drugs and stuff like that through family members, through older kids as that you wanted to, you couldn't wait to do that, or you were like, oh, that looks terrible? Like, was there ever a point where you weren't attracted to it?
No, that's an awesome question, because my dad is a ferocious alcoholic, and I've heard so many times in the rooms now, I was never going to be like my dad. He would drink whatever the hell he drank, White Label, and I'm like, he's a filthy, disgusting animal, not being the man of the house, blah, 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 blah. I'm never going to drink like him. It had a negative effect on me. I was like, I was never going to pick up the drink. If that's what it does, keeps him out for days, doesn't have him support his family, doesn't have him come home, has my mom crying regularly, I'm never going to do that. So it did have a negative effect until I drank it.
Was there anyone that you looked up to that drank? Like for me, it was Hunter Thompson. Like he drank a lot and I wanted to be like him. Was there any, like, you didn't want to be your dad, obviously, but was there anyone where you looked at and like, oh, I want to drink like him, or like James Bond or anything like that? Or there was just no positive drinking role models?
At that point, I didn't have a drinking role model at all.
You didn't have anything?
I had no thought process of drinking at that particular point. I just had my dad's image and that not wanting to do that.
Wow.
But after you started drinking, did you start looking at your father differently, or you still had the same perspective on him? It was just, you're different.
I thought I was a different guy, and I still thought he was a piece of shit. And eventually, during my process, I was able to make amends to my dad, and I thought about him a little bit differently as he got older in his life. But I didn't change my opinion about him at all while I was drinking.
No, that makes sense. But when you started drinking, you originally said that you were bullied and stuff like that. When you started drinking, did things start to change in your social life as far as friends not getting bullied as much? How did it progress from 13 over the next couple of years through like high school?
My life became an absolute and abject mess with drinking. I am I'm an alcoholic from Jump Street. Didn't know it until I went through the process, and things changed very, very quickly. I started drinking. I started socializing with the cool kids. I started socializing with guys that actually formed allegiance with, that would actually back me in situations. I found my true, quote unquote, true friends, my back-to-back friends. I picked up martial arts at 13 or 14. I think it was 14 when I picked it up.
Was that after your first drink?
That was after my first drink, because the mindset there, and I remember this. Like I think I told this story or a portion of the story in rehab. The mindset there was the drink was going to allow me to exact revenge on some of these idiots, and it gave me a confidence that I never felt before. My dad is a 6'2", 225-pound man, and he had a 5', 140-pound kid, and the only thing I could do is, pick up chairs and garbage can covers to defend myself and still get my ass kicked. But I remember starting to drink a little bit more, associating with the people that would back me up, and then I started fighting regularly. I mean, I was just
before you learned martial arts, just fighting.
Before I started, I learned street fighting and got my ass whooped so regularly. But then I became fearless, and I was like, I got to get some sort of skill because I'm going to get killed.
So it sounds like drinking served a purpose for you in the beginning, at least.
At the time,
for
it gave me
at
the time, like Joe just said, at the time, it gave me the courage to walk into a local dojo.
Right.
I walk into a local dojo and go like the Ralph Macchio character at one point, and walk in and say, "How do you do this?
Yeah,
how do you do this?"
And even before that, the first original thought he was talking about with that drinking was like, all of a sudden you're like, I'm not going to back away anymore. Like, I'm going to fucking defend myself. Like, so alcohol did serve a purpose, and it did. It almost, it's like it sparked that first thought of, I'm going to defend myself at all costs now. Fuck that.
I'm not going to be a victim anymore.
No, it took away the victim mentality, and it didn't turn on me for a long. It didn't turn on me for a long time. But boy, did I get consequences right from Jump Street.
Oh, I'm sure. And then once you started fighting, I'm sure it wasn't. Didn't get better.
The police were involved at 15. That kind of stuff. I started piling up assault charges, but I took martial arts, and I was showing up at martial arts drunk. I was drinking before I went in there, and I would think in my head I was fighting better. I was learning the technique better, and I didn't go in there to actually learn to become anything. I went in there to learn the kill strikes. I went in there to learn the break strikes. I went in there to learn the disable strikes. That's what I went there for.
And nothing.
Facts.
While you were there, though, nothing happened that humbled you a little bit. That was like, I shouldn't be fighting in the street and stuff like that, because you were drinking and you were just like, I'm just trying to pick up tools so I could hurt people in the street.
No, nothing happened on the street at that particular point, no.
And what about in the dojo? Did anything happen that humbled you? Like, maybe I shouldn't be fighting all the time.
Yeah, big guys with more skill were kicking my ass.
But it didn't stop you from going out there fighting.
Actually, it did the exact reverse. I was inspired to become way better at it and garner, gather some skills and have them actually say, this little guy could fight.
Did they smell the alcohol in you? I mean, you came in drunk. I'm sure if you're grappling with someone, they're going to smell something. You're sweating out.
More than half my friends that trained were at the time. We were beer drinkers, Jack drinkers, because I started to like Jack at that time.
It was a 70s
and then I was smoking pot regularly. So we all went in there smelling. What did you smoke before?
70s was a different time.
So you're drinking now. You smoking pot. Did it progress to anything else during that time?
Yeah,
high school. High school.
My journey has three different different big chapters. This one was the 70s and 80s was drinking, smoking pot, and black beauties, and then I eventually found cocaine.
The 80s, yeah.
80s was all about cocaine. It was all about the dealer had the best cocaine and the most pure cocaine, and it wasn't what's on the street now with fentanyl and all the other shit that's going on out there.
Fucking scary.
It was freaking scary.
You can't even experiment now. There is no experimenting.
I know that for me, and I discussed this with my sponsor and my guys regularly. I know for me, if I go back out, I'm going to find fentanyl. And they're going to find me behind a dumpster.
Absolutely.
That's just what's going to happen. So I'm very vigilant about my program now. It's absolutely, they're doing fentanyl straight up.
Yeah,
and building up the resistance to
Wild.
fentanyl. Why?
Yeah.
Because we're nuts.
Yeah, we're out of
That's what I'd be doing.
People are
absolutely.
literally looking for fentanyl. now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, as a dopehead, like you drop or somebody drops, you're like, oh, where'd he get that?
Yeah, that's insane. I hear that too. You like heroin addicts. They see someone overdose, and they're like,
That's the good
that's
stuff.
good stuff.
Yo,
Let me. Does he have any left?
Yeah, my dealer called me and said, hey, don't do more than 2. He just dropped out.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, all right. I hung up. I did 4.
Right. It's like Pulp
that's-
Fiction. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
A little familiar.
Yeah. But so, all right, it's the 80s. You're
so it's
getting
the
into
80s.
cocaine now.
Yep, I'm drinking, I'm smoking pot. It's cocaine at that particular point. Before the crack made it, we were making our own. Richard Pryor famously blew up.
You
his
made your
face.
own crack?
I made my own freebase, and it was awful. It was terrible. My friends and I were really bad at it. It never smelled the same.
Was it
never,
like just baking soda, ammonia?
I don't even remember what was actually in it, to be honest. It was awful. And thankfully, there were other people that were much better at it. But we tried to make our own "quote unquote" freebasing crack, and that was semi-awesome because it would hit you a lot faster if you smoked it. And I eventually got into crack too because I did everything.
I never did crack.
It's crazy.
I missed that train.
Yeah, you missed out.
Yeah, it's one of my regrets in life.
Yeah, I basically did it just to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I've smoked cocaine, like taking cocaine and just smoked it. But I've
there you
never
go.
done like the actual crack.
You're in the
cocaine.
you're in the AAA of crack using.
Yeah.
you were right there. You're right there.
Hey, next time.
Next
Next
time.
time.
There's always next time, right?
Oh man, we just snorted it regularly, and I remember meeting. I was working in the city, and I met my soon-to-be ex. In this pocket is a divorce decree. Actually,
You just got divorced? Congratulations.
that's one of the. Yeah, indeed. At this particular point, I met my wife at the time in 1991, and I told her I would not drink, I would not smoke, I would not play cards. I would not go to Atlantic City. I'll come home when I say I was going to come home. We're going to build a family. I'm going to build a business. We're going to do
No fun.
Yeah.
No
zero
fun.
fun. And you guys in the room told me I was a dry drunk. So from 1991 to 2006, I stayed dry.
Get at
What?
it. So no meetings or anything like that. You just promised this to her, and you just grit your teeth and fucking.
long time
A
to be
little
dry
more of
drunk.
that because the beginning part of the story is I was still working for an employment agency, and the guy was holding a very large check, and I was still doing a very large amount of cocaine.
So time out. So this sober time you're talking about, you were still doing large amounts of cocaine?
No. This
Okay.
is
not there yet.
this is
Not
the
there
lead
yet.
up. You
Okay.
know, so before I actually made this pledge to my now ex-wife, he was holding a very large check, and he said, "If you don't go to rehab, you're not going to get this money." And we were getting married in October '91, so I forgot what it was. I'm going to guess April or May or thereabout. He sent me to a place called Arms Acres. Upstate New York, in a rehab, my first rehab, with basketball people and Broadway stars and just a bunch of people. I did go. I loitered around AA for a little bit, and I make that pledge to my wife, and I did not really go to AA. I mean, I just went there just for the sake of going.
Yeah, hey,
And
it
I
was the 90s. You know?
And I stayed dry on life. You know, I stayed dry on spite. I stayed dry. I was
Were you happy?
absolutely,
content?
absolutely not. I come to find out I was pretty miserable. Pretty miserable to be around. Pretty miserable. I thought, you know, when I did my when I did my fourth and fifth step and went through the step process with my sponsor, I come to find out that I wasn't really a nice father. I wasn't really a nice husband. I wasn't really a nice employee. I wasn't really a nice human being to be around. I thought I was a great, great father and father of the year and not a really
Delusional.
nice person. Yeah, absolutely delusional. And you guys tell me in the rooms that I was a dry drunk and a ticking time bomb waiting for something to happen. And that's exactly what happened. I stayed sober until 2000. Well, that's not sober. That's dry. because I didn't do
Abstinent.
the steps.
Yeah, abstinent
Absolutely
of drugs
abstinent.
and alcohol. Were you getting into fights? Because you were at that point a well-established martial artist. So
I was still fighting, but now I'm actually we're establishing a house. I got a business. I'm not road raging and dragging people out of cars anymore. And
you heard that from the green room too, huh?
I told you got to soundproof that cage we put them in before the show.
I was still doing stupid stuff, but not as often. In 2006, I go to a dentist. I get being told I got to get my wisdom teeth taken out. They're impacted, and this was a disaster. The ticking time bomb finally lit a fuse. They tell me they're going to take these out. I go into the waiting area. The guy gives me Valium to calm me down, which I really liked. I haven't been sedated in a long time. And
Because it's 91 to 2006 now.
it's a long time.
It's a long fucking time.
Long time.
All right, so you hate it with the
my
Valium.
my wife is kind of happy that I'm rubbing it. Once again,
You didn't even have a beer during that time, like nothing.
No, I had nothing at that time. But I made up for it in a big way.
Well, yeah, now you get the Valium, and then you get the wisdom teeth
I get
out.
the Valium, and I got the hat trick, boys. If you're hockey fans, I go in there. He gives me a he gives me a drug called Dilaudid.
Oh,
Because he says
heroin, right?
it's going to hurt, and then he puts me on laughing gas for an hour and a half, and he's pumping the thing.
Oh my!
I am.
Dentist, it sounds amazing. What's his name? Is he still working?
He's not. I am whacked. And when I left, he's my first drug dealer because back then I left with a script. I left with 30 Percocet and a script refillable 3 times.
Sounds like Steve Martin from
It's 2006.
what was that movie? Casey, what was that movie? With Rick Moranis and Steve Martin, and he was the crazy dentist, the drug addict dentist.
Oh my God!
Little Shop of Horrors.
Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah.
Great movie. Steve Martin was great. But back then it's 2006. They're throwing that shit at you like candy.
Yeah.
So
and he was a guy that I was playing cards with, so I was able to get a little bit.
how old are you at this time? 2006.
2006. That's a good question. How the hell was I?
I don't know. In the 70s, you were 13.
All right, get the abacus out, Casey. Let's figure this shit out.
That's a good question. I'm 30, 35. I'm 41.
Okay.
You were 41 then.
41 at that
41.
time.
Okay. So they send you home with these perks.
They sent me home with perks.
So that's a quadruple.
And you know what?
refills.
You know exactly what happened with them. Within 2 days, they were gone.
Wait a minute. You didn't take one every 4 hours like prescribed?
I was taking them exactly as directed, as prescribed by my street doctor, and I vomited black for the first time in my life, which I never saw before. That was fun and
Delicious.
That's got to get you off.
Yeah.
It woke me up. I mean, I started hiding the drinking, started going on the street looking for anything. I eventually found the little blue ones that I really liked.
Oh, blues.
Devils.
That I started crushing, and then you know what happened? The guy that had the blues didn't have the blues, and I got introduced to being dope sick, which I would swim through a mile of freaking pig shit.
Well, heroin's cheaper too. It's cheaper. You get more for your money.
Did you know the first time you went through heroin withdrawal? Because I didn't. Did you know? Because I did a whole bunch of stuff and I just stopped. So physical withdrawals I never really went through, which was crazy.
With the pills, you didn't go through withdrawals?
No, I did, but I'm saying that was the first time I ever went through physical withdrawals. And at first I was I didn't know. Yeah. So the first time you went through withdrawals, did you know what they were immediately?
Absolutely not.
No,
I had
right?
no freaking.
What the fuck is going on?
What the fuck is this? Yeah. I just knew that if I got another blue, everything was going to be okay.
Well, yeah.
And I started doing that stuff, and then miraculously, he didn't have him one day, and he throws the, this will hold you over. And I went on a very destructive run that took me to 2016.
Heroin, injecting it, or smoking it?
At that point, I wasn't injecting it. I was sniffing it, but that was coming.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course.
If somebody
just another line we drew in the sand.
If somebody would have injected me and showed me, I would have injected this.
Well, it's just a better value for your money.
That's exactly what happened. Yeah, but it's again, when we started drinking when we were younger, there was things we said we wouldn't do. Just like I said, I wouldn't drink. And then all of a sudden, I'll drink, but I won't smoke pot. Yeah. And then that line got blurred.
Lines in the sand.
Yeah, exactly. Those fucking lines get real blurred.
Yeah.
Big time.
Because I did the same thing. I sniffed. Then I went to Cali. I didn't have powder there. I got introduced to black tar. I started smoking it, started smoking pills. And then it was just a matter of time before I came back home. And I didn't want to sniff it anymore. I was addicted to the habitual smoking it, And then somebody showed me how to shoot, and it was it. And I think I said that on another episode. I remember. I should have known. I was watching Pulp Fiction with my cousin Frankie.
Ooh.
They glorified it. That made it look cool.
Yeah,
I'm
but
sorry, Travolta
yeah,
made
but not to
heroin
everybody
cool.
because he shot up my cousin Frankie, who's now dead, and not from that. Like he was like, ugh. He like freaked out, and I was like, oh, that looks sick.
Yeah,
I thought it looked sick too.
That's the experience I had. Where I was like, it doesn't look so bad.
No,
Like, heroin looks cool, man.
I
Like,
just don't have the veins. I don't think.
So you never shot. You were sniffing though the whole time.
Sniffing the whole entire time.
Once you got involved in that, because you probably like if you had to take blues and there was nothing around, took them. But that's what you were seeking. That's what you were chasing.
I was
the whole
out
time.
on the street looking for heroin all the time.
Yeah, okay.
That was a whole different monster, and it was awesome and bad at the same time, as you know.
Yes.
It's the devil and the angel at the same
It's
time.
so weird.
You know,
Crazy.
it is
So
absolutely crazy.
And you know, in the 1800s, they used to prescribe heroin for like headaches and menstrual cramps.
Yeah, sure.
Doctors in the 1800s.
I
were
wonder
nuts.
I always wonder, like even the opium dens and stuff like that, was it different because it was sociable and it wasn't looked so down upon? And then once you do heroin, you like beat yourself up about it. You know what I mean? I wonder if back then those people didn't feel like they didn't go down the holes we did because the drugs are only part of it. How we beat the shit out of ourselves and tell ourselves the story of I'm a piece of shit and continue that story over and over again. So,
Maybe. It's a
so I
good
wonder
point. Yeah,
if
it's
back
interesting.
then, because it was so social and so many people were doing it, if there wasn't many people that got caught up like us and went
Right.
down such a dark hole, you know?
I don't know.
I mean, it was looked upon as like regal. I mean, you see these
Exactly.
these
Yeah.
spectacular, smoking apparatuses, and then
Opium
they taking them for the health benefit, and then we get stigmatized as the guy behind the dumpster with the needle needle in his arm, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So it's kind of like the same thing as in Italy and Europe. They let kids drink, but
Yeah. Glass of wine with dinner, 12
yeah, it's
years
so
old.
social.
Yeah.
It's not demonized, and,
Yeah.
and they don't wind up, becoming crazy alcoholics and addicts. They have a healthy relationship with it.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's the same thing. I don't know.
Chicken or the egg situation.
My dad let me drink too, and it became a disaster.
I know. My dad let me have
It wasn't exactly Europe.
a sip of a beer in a pool one time, and like a year later, I'm funneling 2 beers under the water of the
2
pool.
minutes later, you probably had your dick out, Joe.
Well, that actually preceded the drink. I was born with my dick out, and I think it should stay that way.
I'm a dick out alcoholic, and I'm sticking with it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's going to be my new tagline.
I'm sticking with it.
Oh my!
Sticky dicks. There we go.
Let's go.
There's a plug. Casey,
my
write
God.
it up.
Get on it.
It's already a registered trademark now.
There you go.
God,
That's
that's
ours.
trending on Twitter.
That's ours. So,
That's unbelievable.
so, all right, you're into heroin now, right? How long did this heroin journey last? And around what year is this? What timeline?
It's a big problem. It becomes from 2006 to 2016. It escalated into me going back to drinking my favorite drink, Georgie vodka in plastic bottles.
Oh, that's so gross.
It was awful.
He's
but
the kind of alcoholic I like.
yeah, it was just no clanking in the car.
You're not
nothing.
some bougie slut. Give me some
Sold
fucking Georgie.
Smirnoff in plastic bottles too. You didn't
Georgie,
have to drink Georgie.
When you walk into
you're a
the-
bitch.
You are a
God.
bitch. When you walk into the liquor store, they make the signs specifically for Georgie 2, 4, 3, 4, and they sell them, or they're up on the counter and they have the specials.
interesting.
And I walk out with 3 bottles instead of 1.
So it was subliminal messaging that did it.
there you go.
Yeah.
It was a fucking bastard.
Good marketing.
Okay, so I went back to Georgie, and this took me from 2006 and it right up until a car crash in 2016.
Whoa,
Holy
car
shit.
crash.
So wait, 2006, that's when you got the perks and the stuff like that. How quickly did you make that transition to heroin? Pretty quick?
I started dabbling in heroin. It was actually 2006, so I want to say 2010, about 4 years later.
Okay.
4 years after the
So,
dentist appointment.
4 years after the dentist appointment, and I wasn't doing heroin regularly at that particular point. I really started doing heroin around 2012,
Okay.
around that time.
So you
My
got from-
timelines are going to definitely be fuzzy.
No, no,
No,
it's
it's
all right.
but that's around the time.
No, but thank you. That's awesome. It's detailed. So 2006 to 2016, you're ripping, running. You get introduced to heroin at 2012, and that's all you want.
Big time.
Now, I definitely want to talk about 2016 and what happened there and how you guys like originally met and just your journey, your initial journey, because that was the initial journey, right? And this is okay. So, but through that time, through those 10 years, can you think of a couple of stories that you could tell, some more stories maybe that we could
War stories.
that we could talk about, that we could tell that's okay to talk about?
Yeah, give us your worst night. or worst day, or worst weekend, or
Oh,
just like craziest debacle.
Yeah.
Oh my God! This is I try not to tell too many stories.
No, it's fine. It's good for you.
Yeah.
It's good. It's cathartic.
Yeah.
Just get it out. Get it out.
Yeah, I've been so used to solution-based meetings. I don't actually tell the war story. I don't tell the war stories
So,
anymore.
and this is my thing, and tell me if you agree or not. I get that, but at a beginner's meeting, they say experience, strength, and hope for a reason. Like,
Yeah, if I don't hook you in with that, that's why when I go to a rehab and I tell the disaster.
yeah, but even a beginner's meeting, like, what did Dr. Silkworth say to Bill, right? Stop fucking pulling people off of stools and preaching God. Like, you have to share your experience first. And I know I was a judgmental prick when I first came around. If I don't think you could hang with me, why would I listen to what you have to say after? It's just, it's not right, but it's the truth.
It's true. It's 100% true.
So, like, to me, yeah, I don't like, this is a different atmosphere, but at meetings, I might not talk about like war stories in depths of like how much I was shooting and this and that, but the stories of the insanity and the chaos and destruction that was caused by this disease, I think that's important because when people hear that, they understand that, oh my God, this motherfucker was in the depths of hell too.
Yeah, I'm not alone.
And he's not now. And he's got color in his face and he looks like, like he's got a hold of himself. He has some confidence. Like what the fuck did he do? Like, to me, that's the hook a lot of times.
The inspiration too. It's part of for me, like the experience, these war stories serve a purpose, and seeing you now, as a well-adjusted adult, is inspiring to someone who's in the shit. It would be to me. And it was to me when I was going through the shit.
So when I was going through the shit, when I was really drinking and ripping and roaring, I have a family at this time. I got two daughters. I'm supposed to be the protector and provider.
How old are they? Sorry.
They are 22 and 25.
Gotcha.
At this time
At
or
this
now?
time.
Right now.
No, how old are they?
At this time, between 2016 and 2019, they are, Megan is 8 and Madison is 4. So they're young.
Okay. Okay. And so, because he's a heroin addict and like, he's got a family that he's operating and a business or a job, right? Like, you're like, talk about functioning, like,
and as we do, we bring it all. Eventually, the business is gone. My investment career is gone. The house. I'm asked to leave the house that I used to live in. Cars are being repossessed. All the shit that comes along with all the stuff that comes along with it. The mayhem that I actually put these kids through. But couple war stories. I mean, it wasn't uncommon for me to not come home. I promised, I told you earlier, 1991, I make this promise to my wife, I'm going to come home, I'm going to do all these things. And if I went out on a Tuesday night, you could rest assured I was coming home Saturday or Sunday. I wasn't coming home on Tuesday night because there was a strip club. I'd wind up in gossip or I'd wind up in a strip club, and then I'd find out from a guy.
strip club, though.
That's where my car accident was, which I'll get to in a minute. That's the almost the end of the block. I'd wind up in a strip club. There'll be a guy next to me who says, he starts telling the bar stories, and then I'd find out where the card game is, in the after hour club, and I'd wind up in a freaking, a speakeasy freaking card game, and, there we are sliding the door, and I'm playing cards for freaking a day and a half, doing freaking stupid shit, and there was this one time I was supposed to come home, on a Tuesday or Wednesday, I don't remember the actual date. I've got all of my money on me at this particular point, which was eventually going to go. The mortgage has to be paid. The lights have to be paid. The oil has to be there. The kids need food. All this tuition needs to be paid. All this shit. I didn't give a fuck. That's the hallmark of the darkness of my disease. I had a real bad case of I don't give a fuck. And my daughters are awesome too. I give a fuck today. It's unacceptable behavior thanks to my program today, but I didn't really care. It was really acceptable then. I disappear with the mortgage money. There's no groceries. There's no lights on. The lights are about to get turned off. My daughters are not. They're not fed. Tuition is not being paid. There's a threat of a repossession of a car at that particular point. I have the money for the car, but I'm playing cards in a really good game, and it's going to extend into Thursday or Friday.
And you're going to win. And you're going to win.
And I'm going to win.
That could.
It could happen. It's going to happen. These guys are fish.
And it's the worst because I used to do the same shit. And when you're all doped up, you could sit there forever and just fold and wait for good because you're having a good time just being there.
I was whacked. And, the dealers are at the place. I mean, it was just so freaking crazy. And, that kind of stuff would happen. I'd wind up in a different state. I'd wake up in Connecticut. I'd wake up in freaking Rhode Island. I've woken up in Tennessee. I've woken up on a plane in Florida. Trying to explain to my wife where I was. I was just crazy freaking shit. Not giving a fuck about actually feeding my own children. It was just absolutely crazy. And only heroin would do that. Heroin takes you to places that no other drug or that and crack take you to places that no other one would take you to. But
well, I heard crystal meth will take you to places,
and you lose teeth too. You lose
your skin. You fucking you age like 30 years, and 3 months.
It's rough, that one.
I remember telling my friend, one of my friends who will remain nameless for this particular podcast, that I told him a spectacular story about how I needed, to catch up on bills, and we were behind, and he was a really cool friend, and he, on the spot, drove me to the bank and gave me $15,000.
That's a good story.
15?
How the fuck did you do that?
Why did he give you $15,000?
He gave me $15,000 because I spun up like I'm practically throwing up on myself from being dope sick, and I know that if I don't get anything in the next 6 or 7 hours,
right.
It's really going to become bad. And somehow I'm able to convince him. I don't remember what I said. I spun it really. We're amazing when we have to tell a story.
Yeah, but was it like a victim story? Like, oh, I need this to help me, or was it an investment story? Do you remember? It
was definitely a victim story.
Yeah.
It was not.
That's a lot of money for a victim story.
That's
a couple of $100 here to hold you over.
A few hundred, maybe a grand.
$15,000.
I've gotten like 2,000 for rent, but 15.
That's
15. I got a lot of money. He didn't even hesitate,
Wow.
and I'm still, he's part of my amends process, and so was this guy, as a matter of fact. He gave it to me in a nanosecond. He didn't even hesitate. And you know what I did with it? I mean,
$15,000 to get you a lot of heroin.
I was gone. That's
a good weekend, right?
It was a good 4 days.
Dope and cards.
Yeah,
dope cards. It all went in like literally 3.5 or 4 days. No bills were paid, and my wife found out about it. And I was one of 30 times that she threw me out of the house. The million times she threw me out of the house. I would do shit like that.
So what's amazing is how you keep getting back in. 30 times you got kicked out. How do you sneak your way back in all these times? Manipulation?
Because we could talk.
Yeah.
We could talk. She'd talk on the promise that it was going to get better this time.
That's right.
She knew me when.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
She saw flashes, and
she was a little insane too. That's
look,
that's what my sponsor tells me
over again.
She's culpable too.
Hope is a powerful thing,
yes,
and that's for a lot of people that enabled us. When you have a mixture of love that spurs hope, it's very, very difficult. That's why they have Al-Anon meetings and stuff like that. It's not easy to deal with us, and especially when you see the potential of what someone could be. If they just saw themselves the way you do, it's hard. It's
Al-Anon meetings are meetings for like family and friends of addicts.
Yeah. It's and even just being sober and sponsoring people and seeing people go. That's hard. You know what I mean? Could you imagine like being a family member and loving that person, mom, a dad? Like it's hard.
Like I said before, I think I mentioned before, my mom, she still sleeps on the couch because of the habit she developed from having to sleep on the couch with the phone next to her, waiting for me to come home when I was a kid. Yeah. And she still has that habit.
Yeah.
My dad has to come down and remind her, come up to bed. It's like just still, and she's it's sad.
My parents are like that too, and I definitely did that to Ann. She was waiting by the phone for the coroner, quite frankly.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's why when to me when they say the disease is cunning, baffling, and insidious, the baffling part to me is like how our family view, like some of the shit we do is just baffling. Like they just are fucking like, why? Why would you do that?
Why would you put up with
how? Yeah.
So much love and hope.
How do you even do that?
Yeah. How? Because they know the kind of person you should be and are inside in the heart, and they just fucking baffle. Like how did you turn into this?
Why? And then they start looking at themselves as their fault. It's a whole thing. I would imagine. My dad once got so angry, he threw a coffee cup at my head. I deserved it. I mean, it was like,
absolutely.
A million relapses, and again he can't. It's like, again, he just threw a coffee right at my head right before I went into rehab. And I definitely deserved it. And I kind of needed that, to be honest.
Absolutely.
When I got to rehab with the bruise on my head, like I took that rehab a lot more seriously than I took the last rehab. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. See, and now it's
Was that
2025.
was that the one we went
Yeah,
to?
I think it was the last one.
But now it's 2025, and you can't hit your kids. You can't throw coffee cups at them and
Right.
shit like that. But that's why a sticky dick would be okay.
Sticky dick would be
Yes.
good.
A sticky dick would be good to throw at your kid when he's fucking doing something stupid like you are, because there's no charges, no black and blues, just
Sticky dick.
total
Patent
embarrassment.
pending.
Yeah. So
Have to explain to your friend why you have a dick stuck to your cheek.
yeah, exactly. Why do you have a dick mark
Why is that?
down your face?
Why is that?
Again, would that not be the greatest punishment a dad could give his stupid son? You know, you didn't really hurt him; you just embarrassed him a little
No,
bit.
no, let me
gets
take a
through.
picture and post that on social for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Stupid.
Yeah, it's a different world now with social media. Yeah.
So, okay, couple war stories.
You have
Not
to
a
you have
couple
to you have
war
to rein you have to
stories.
rein this
Yeah,
in.
yeah, but that's exactly what we do. It's all good. That's why I like this freedom to just talk and fuck around. You know, because again, it's like I don't know. I went through a lot of trauma when I was younger, so I learned comedy was a beautiful release for me, not only for me but for my family members that I was able to uplift by doing stupid shit. Whatever it always benefited me too, because I went through dark times. So I know you could fucking around at any time and about anything. You know what I mean? So even this, it's like if I'm not laughing, I'm crying. Like I beat the shit out of myself enough. That's what kept me locked down for so long. Today I'm free. I'm going to fuck around about you. I'm going to make fun of
Yeah,
stuff.
comedy saved my life.
It is what it is.
I don't know if I would be here if
Yeah.
I didn't have comedy, if I didn't have laughing in my life. Like, I wouldn't, I doubt I would be here.
But at the end of the day, it's like, look, this is life. There's times where you laugh. There's insanity. There's craziness. There's tough times. There's tragedy. There's learning experiences. It's just what it is. So you went through all that stuff, and thank you for doing that, because you talked a lot about the cycle that you put your family through, you put yourself through for those years, right? Just disappearing, winding up in Florida, all that stuff. What was the deciding factor, though? What was the story that led you in 2016 to actually be like, all right, this is it. I got to fucking get help.
March 31st of 2016, I get a call from my heroin dealer who tells me this is the best stuff you're ever going to have in your life. He was right. At that time, I am in Seafield outpatient on my way down south on Route 110 to fail yet another drug test, of which I did not give a fuck that I was going to fail. At the time, I was in that full mindset. And I stopped at a 7-Eleven, just north of the strip club Gossip, and I met my guy. And if one bundle is good for the good stuff that he had, then certainly three would be good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of
So
course.
I managed
Just makes
I managed to
sense.
get three, and he said, you really want to be careful with this. You probably want to do one or two and then see how that sits. So naturally, 4 bags worked.
100%.
Yeah, 4 bags worked out phenomenally. I woke up halfway out of a parking spot in the 7-Eleven, to somebody knocking on the window. So I pulled back into the parking spot naturally, and I did 2 more. I think it was 6 total before I pulled out of the parking lot. And this was all, I don't know any, this is just in police reports. I don't know this other than pieces of paper. Evidently, I was going south on Route 110. I overdosed behind the wheel of my car.
Allegedly.
No, this is all fact. I
got busted for this.
Yeah, I got busted. No, this is clearly my arrest. So this is now where Judge Christine Kelly will gladly tell you and give you the details. I overdosed behind the wheel of my car. I AFib behind the wheel of my car. Evidently,
Damn.
I flatline and I die behind the wheel of my car. I slump behind the wheel of my car. I'm bouncing off of cars going south on Route 110. Something out of an action movie. My car comes to rest after hitting a fire hydrant in front of the strip club Gossip that I've been to a zillion times.
And you know how lucky you are just for that, not hitting somebody,
It's
not hitting
on-
a fucking fire
Not
hydrant.
killing anyone.
That's
I hit
wild.
this fire hydrant, take it off its moorings, water up in the air. The fire hydrant
Literally
hits.
a movie.
Yeah, the fire hydrant hits the side of a woman's car who's driving a Land Rover home with 2 little children in the back.
No.
Oh my
2 little
God.
children. The
Get the
fire
fuck outta
hydrant.
here.
The fire hydrant comes within inches of her son in the back seat from the police reports,
Yo.
allegedly. So I almost killed somebody.
But you did, thank God.
Yeah.
My guy at Powers is definitely at work. He has some work for me to do. I woke up in Huntington Hospital not knowing any of this, that this had happened, I was flatlined for 11 minutes. The 2 Suffolk County police officers actually brought me back to life. I am in Huntington Hospital, handcuffed to a bed. I wake up.
Thank you to those guys, those cops. Right?
Damn straight. I wake up and, I only know at this point, because I see bruises on my wrist, but I don't know anything at this point. I wake up and they're telling me about a procedure I got to have because my heart is in AFib and they're going to shock me. And I remember calling my wife at the time saying, they're going to do this procedure. You're going to have to come and get me because I'm not allowed to go home by myself. And literally, I'm fucking, Still have heroin in my pocket, whatever.
And this is the first time she's hearing about what went down?
She already now has a full scope of what had happened. This is the first time we're speaking. I'm waking up after like it's a little over a day when I finally become like coherent enough to make the phone call. And I heard she has an English accent. And I heard words coming out of this woman's mouth that I've never heard before. Like, you will never fuck. I can't do an English accent. I'll defer to Justin.
Oh, hello.
Hello, governor.
You will never set foot back in this house again. You will never see your kids again. She blasted me and hung up the phone. You will never have, and it materialized into court papers that I was in court for a very, very long time as a direct result, and started the demise of my marriage at that particular point. I had no idea I'd done any of this stuff, and she was not happy that she found out that there were 2 children involved too, and I didn't know until I saw the police report, actually. Freaking terrible, actually.
Yeah, but it's tough to take anyone seriously with an English accent.
I was just going to say that. Like, even though this is a terrible story, like...
When they're angry with an English accent, it's just cute.
I know. It's like, oh, Style, you're so cute. I'll see you tomorrow. Like,
but you will not set one more foot in this house again. You will never sleep in my bed ever again. You'll never see your children again.
Yeah.
You'll never see your children.
No. Shut the fuck up.
Without court intervention.
This is great.
She called me a menace to society and a heroin addict in court papers to keep me away from my kids, and rightfully so. I did, like you deserve
you were a menace.
I was an absolute menace.
Yeah. He's fucking, shooting fire hydrants in the air and shit like that.
It's freaking crazy.
All right, so she kicks you out. This is it. Now, you're in the hospital and you decide to go to rehab. Does she push you to go? Do you have this moment where you're just like, what am I doing? Like, what is that like?
Because I'm a heroin addict and a drug addict and an alcoholic. So my best thinking has me renting a car and staying in the car for a couple of days before I come to the conclusion I'm homeless.
That makes sense.
To me, it did.
Me too.
Yeah, it was freaking perfect. Side of the LIE before they made the rest area between exit 52 and 53. That was my home. And then I come to the conclusion, speaking to a social worker that I stayed in contact with at the hospital. You probably some help. We need to get you some help, and they got me into a detox, and eventually to my first stint at LICR.
Okay.
Was that when I met you for the second time?
That's you and I met.
No, this is first time.
This is the first time.
This is first time in rehab. So he's not even sober yet to come speak at LICR when you're there.
Seafield, yeah.
So whatever.
Yeah.
No, when I met you, I had that. I don't even remember when the hell that was. That was probably 6 or 7. That was 3 or 4 rehabs in. I was in Seafield at one point. So
2016 LICR first rehab, right? And this whole time, because I want to get to some other things. So we'll go through like the rehabs you went to and meeting Justin and stuff like that. But I know you went to a lot of them. But your wife was with you during this whole time, all these different rehabs and going through this?
I'm out of the house most of the time. But this was starting in 2015, and right before the car crash, I am now doing the outpatient rehab sober house friends couch dance. I'm doing that stuff, and I'm doing that for like 5 or 6 years.
Okay.
I'm doing that for a long time. That 2006 to 2016 period was real dark.
Wow,
that had me in and out of the house. She did not let me stay in the house. 2014, 2015 was foot down. You need to be out of the house while you figure out how you're going to be sober type thing.
Okay, and then from 2016,
I was not in the house in 2016 when I did the car crash.
So 2016 to what, when you actually got sober enough to go speak at his rehabs?
2016. I probably in 2016 March 31st. I stumble into the 164 group at the end of April of 2016, maybe the beginning of May.
What's the 164 group?
164 group is a Northport AA group.
Okay.
That all of their meetings are big book meetings. I got introduced to the book at that particular point. My sponsor at the time bashed me over the head with that book. I just didn't take all the suggestions.
Well, you probably just tried to shove them down your fucking brain. I mean, I get it.
When you do heroin and I needed to be bashed over the head. And I did have some good sobriety too, which is why he actually put me out there speaking at that particular point. I probably spoke around 2017 is when he turned me loose on the speaking circuit. He wanted me to be through the steps completely, which they do very quickly there. So April, I was out of the steps. right before Thanksgiving of 2016-ish or thereabouts.
Okay.
So it was sometime in 2017 when I finally spoke at rehabs. He had the jail commitment in Yaphank, which was now my commitment. I had to go every Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then he had several rehab commitments, which he said, you're going to speak. And I said, okay.
Yeah, of course. And you were, I mean, at that time, you're probably on fire. You're going through the steps. You're with people who are very heavily involved. So it's just like boom, boom, boom.
Yep.
So how long and that was that the time when you maybe went to go speak with this guy? Okay.
No doubt.
Yeah. So after that, how long did that last and what happened?
Oh, man, I could. 2016 till November of 2018. So not a very long period of time. I was given the, oh God, I'll tell the story. Let it fly. I was given the greeter commitment at the 164 group on I think it was a Thursday night, our Design for Living meeting. And the greeter was a 4'11" brunette, drop dead gorgeous divorcee named Elizabeth, who I became involved in a relationship. At 6:30, we were greeting together and we had met. By 6:40, she was in the process or getting divorced. So was I in my head. And she had two children, 2 daughters. I had 2 daughters by 10 to 7. By 7 o'clock, we agreed to continue the conversation at 8 o'clock at a Dunkin' Donuts. By 8:15, we were picking out china patterns. The apartment we were going to move into had our first kiss at 8:30. And then I went backwards through the steps, I come to find out, and eventually made Elizabeth my higher power and did everything.
We're not extreme people at all.
Not at all.
You just met this woman and you're already having like wedding plans.
Just met this woman. We were going to move in together in November of 2018. She goes back to her ex-husband to undo the divorce, and I snap.
Oh.
By then, she was already my higher power. I wasn't doing anything you guys told me to do. I wasn't living in 10, 11,
She's
and 12.
It's a movie. It's a movie.
It's horrible. My wife is like, who the fuck is this Elizabeth? And
she's the love of my life. She's the best woman. You'll never be her.
After you.
Undo a divorce.
She undid her divorce to go back.
So you get remarried to the same person. I didn't
all
think
that
you
shit means nothing. You can undo anything.
You could undo anything.
You can undo anything. That's why it boggles my mind that thinks a piece of paper means you're committed. Well, obviously not, because if you look at the divorce numbers,
Yeah, I know that, but I thought once you're divorced, you have to get remarried. Like I remarried my ex-wife. I never heard of I undid my divorce.
Undid his divorce and got remarried.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know the procedure for that. All I know is that my group members were telling me, she's seeing her husband. I was like, of course, he's the father of their children. I said, no. She's seeing her husband.
When you did find out, did you lose it?
I lost it. I started obsessing about it, started chasing her around, started making the phone calls, started sending the emails, started calling her at work. I became a stalker. I became a real stalker. I said, you just need to explain to me why this is happening and why this is not happening, and then I'll leave you alone. She never really gave me closure because as an alcoholic, I deserve closure. And then I just snapped.
Of course.
I was like, well, fuck you. If you're going to do this, then I'm going to, when I come to your house to talk to you for the last time and get some of my stuff, I will have already drank Georgie vodka and stop and see if my guy is still available.
That's
and
right.
I'll have my stuff. God damn it.
Good old Georgie and the dope scene.
Georgie and the dope scene. I went to her house freaking high as fuck to have a conversation with her. And from November of 2018 until my new sober date, which is April 24th of 2019, you guys told me about the progression. It was worse than the 10-year run. What I did in 4 months was worse than anything I've ever gotten.
10 years abstinent, and your disease was doing push-ups inside of you. Yeah, getting ready for you to fuck up.
I hear in the rooms they say your disease is doing push-ups in the parking lot. That's bullshit, by the way. It's like right here, right
inside
now,
of you,
waiting for me to fuck up.
It's crazy. Well, because to me, that's why I try to explain to people why the commitment's so important, why having a commitment's so important, because I felt like a piece of shit every time I broke a commitment to you or my mom or this, that. You know what I mean? Like you just lied or you said you were going to be somewhere. But
I never did that. I was a unique alcoholic. I never broke. Never. I always showed up on time.
I did it all the time. But the worst promises was the one I broke to myself over and over again, because it just, again, told me the story that you can't take my word for anything. Like me, I could say I'm going to do something. You're not going to do that. You're just going to fucking fold, or you're going to be a bit like whatever it was. So that story just kept on playing in my head. And
God, it just reinforces the piece of shit that we think.
Exactly. So then as soon as we pick that up, yeah, of course it's going to go right back, because it's not just the drug. It's me feeling like worthless, useless piece of shit. And then I'm never going to amount to anything. And what kind of life is that to lead? And immediately I just proved to myself again, you can't do this. It's for everybody else, not for you. And that's to me the sickest part that gets me sucked back into that rabbit hole so quick.
And
You know what
for
I
me,
mean?
regret as well.
Yeah.
It's just, you're talking about you're not going to be something in the future. That's fear of the future. I had that too. But the worst part for me was what I've done in the past that I could never change. Not realizing at the time that sculpted me into the person that I am. And I wouldn't trade it for anything now.
Right.
Like all of the horrors in my life, I wouldn't trade for anything because it made me who I am. And I love who I am now.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I get it. And you're 100% right about that. But from 2018 to 2024, you're ripping and running again. Are you totally estranged from your family? You're not seeing them anymore? And you're just on your own going crazy? Or still stints of sobriety somewhere?
My daughters are basically they're in contact with their dad just because they're afraid they're going to wake up and find out that their dad's dead. I'm finding out or getting rumblings that they are literally preparing for my inevitable death, so they're talking about funerals and stuff like that. At least that's some of the friends that I was still in contact with talking about.
Of course.
I am not really talking to my ex when there is a conversation or a text thread. It's something real vicious and hostile, and I had it coming. Quite frankly,
sure.
some of the text threads I don't look at them now, but the old text threads that I had from the Elizabeth thing, and then she eventually spoke to Elizabeth. And found out all of that stuff.
Worst.
I mean, she had a conversation with Elizabeth
When they team up on you like that?
It's horrible.
and I got it from both ends, and it was horrible. And but AA teaches me to take
That's not
responsibility for
the
that.
good way to get it from both ends from two women.
Oh
No,
that's a whole different Atlantic City story, but I'm not going to do that. We're not doing it. That's a great story, but we're not doing that. That's a different podcast.
Yeah, we'll do it off air.
That's a great war story.
So
You can do it.
during this time, yeah, we can bleep it out later. Casey, disregard that bleep out.
Do you try?
So,
Fucking guy.
2024, you wind up giving it a go again. But during that time,
It was 2019, actually.
So you're strained for your. Are you still working and stuff like that? Like, are you doing odd jobs? Do you have a career? What's going on with? Are you still trying to hold it together?
2018 to 2019, I am odds jobs at best. I'm doing business loans. I'm doing anything I could do to make some money, but not being able to hold a job because I kept thinking about the next one for a little bit. The obsession came in really hard before I even picked up, and I was literally at that point obsessing about freaking a loss of the demise of one relationship and a loss of another one that I thought was going to start. And then I actually I got a pretty decent job once I got sober, but during that time I wasn't being able to hold down the job.
But when did you? So you say when you get sober? So I don't remember because you told it obviously when I was in rehab with you. But what happened to get you in the last rehab you were in 2019? Like, what was the event? Like, what happened?
This is not a really sexy story, actually. This is the old adage, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was without a car with my last 3 or 4 bags of heroin. I had copped strategically a couple miles away from St. Charles, ironically enough. I do my last couple of bags, and I'm walking literally because I don't have a car at this particular point, and I get the bright idea of going to St. Charles because I want to stop at that
St. Charles
particular
is
point.
a
St. Charles is a
rehab?
detox and a rehab, but I went there to detox. And I stumbled in there figuring they were not going to take me because I had just done just 4 bags of heroin.
But did you plan that before
No.
the heroin, or after you shot up? You're like, oh, St. Charles is here. Let me fucking do that.
Afterwards, I felt. I guess now thinking about it, I mean, I felt so shitty about all the stuff that had gone on. That was the last 4 bags of heroin. That always helps to get you in a detox or an emergency room for a shot of morphine. But in this particular case, I was done. I was like, shit, this sucks. And I knew St. Charles was not far away. And I literally walked over and walked into the detox. I filled out that little stupid card, sat down. They did take me. They took me into detox and walked me past that freaking dope sick that I was going to be. And then the woman that was in the detox, who was sweet, didn't put me in their rehab. She allowed me to actually detox there. And then they suggested another rehab because they didn't have enough room in St. Charles. And they suggested Long Island Center for Recovery. And I was like, yeah, let's go.
And that's where you met this maniac.
And I met this lunatic in April of 2019 in a rehab this time.
And he's just like, Ninja Mike, we love you.
And it's like, it's
I ran over to you. I'm like, Ninja Mike.
It's absolutely
Ninja Mike,
crazy.
I remember hearing you speak.
Yeah, I didn't say, Justin, I fucked up.
Yeah, I know. He's like, imagine. That would have been funny, though, if he's like, are you here to speak again? And you just went with it. You're like, yeah, sure. All doped up.
I was there and I stayed I think they gave me 24 days that time.
All right.
And I stayed and
I remember asking you what happened. You're like, a lot of shit happens. A lot of shit.
Dude, think about it. November of 2018, I pick up and then I'm in at Long Island Center for Recovery less than five months later. I mean, it's just so much shit.
So that was the last stint.
That's it.
Since then, you've been sober.
April 24th, 2019.
Good for you. Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
We're the same. I was April 19th. Yours April 24th.
Yep. I go back through the steps. I'm super rigorously honest about it this time. And I leave no stone unturned. And I do a lot of freaking service to stay sober because I know what happens when you don't.
And you recovered from cancer during this process. Amazing to stay sober during that.
He told me about that. I definitely want to get to that too and where you're at now with everything. But I want to know because it's always something a little different, but you obviously heard messages through your time going to rehabs, dabbling in AA and stuff like that. And sometimes those seeds take a long time to actually turn into something, right? What was different about this time in LICR when you were with Justin? What were some of the things, whether it was a speaker that came in, something that a counselor said to you, a group thing or whatever, what gave you the motivation to keep going? In the rehab, in the detox, to be like, okay, I'm going to give this a try when I get out.
I walked into that rehab with Justin just talked about it. I came in with a lot of guilt and shame this time. Stuff that keeps people out of the rooms or makes them take the ultimate sacrifice. I was freaking beat up. I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this again. There's no way I'm going to be able to go talk to my guys and say, nope, I did it again, and not think that I'm going to be judged and shit like that. But the guys that my core group of guys that were sober with me and my group members in 164, they were all over my shit to just get back on the horse.
That's awesome.
They were just like, dude, we're alcoholics and drug addicts. That's what we fucking do.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Get up, fucking deal with your past, then fucking use it and go help somebody and get fucking sober and stuff, get to helping some people.
That's it.
So they encourage me, and then I walk in, I see this fucking lunatic, in Long Island. I'm there for maybe 3 or 4 days, and I'm feeling all sorts of miserable, and he's like infectiously energetic and funny, and like fuck you for that. And
I was very infectious.
I was not in the mood. I was not in the mood for that.
He was there for a little bit, and this was his last time too, so he was like bought in.
He was all in at that particular point, and and like he says, I mean, there were some really good speakers that came up there too, including one of my buddies came up there too. I was like, I could do this again. Not only could I do this again, I could do it bigger and better.
So what you're saying is I was your inspiration. And the reason why you're sober today is because of my infectious positive attitude in the rehab. And you basically are thanking me for saving your life. I'm paraphrasing, right?
Right, paraphrasing. I'm so glad this is an ego deflation program and that you bought right into that first step premise. You were part of it. There's no question about it. And you know that too. You're part of my journey. We've stayed in contact the whole entire time. You're a big part of I have a car because of you.
Oh yeah, my dad sold him a car. Yeah,
Dad sold me a car. And,
it's annoying because even though he was annoying at the time, just like the birds at 5 a.m, was annoying to me, and sunlight and all these good things that I actually learned to enjoy because it's this. Before I didn't even like good songs because I was just not in that place. I was just jealous and envious of everyone happy, everyone fulfilled, anything that was like. Other than misery and pain, what I was feeling, everything else could go fuck themselves. It was like a fake simulation to me. Like nothing was real. Like that's not real, and that's impossible to achieve for me. So like
fake happy.
When you see that, it's such a unique, authentic glow that person has at the time. Because I had the same experience with a buddy that I used to run with who looked 10 years younger than when I knew him 10 years before that. When I saw him sober, and it was like an infectious glow that you can't fake. You cannot
fake it
because you could tell, and it's. So those are things that give us that little bit of hope and momentum that maybe maybe if I did everything the way they suggest, I could have that too type of thing.
But you have to be ready for that. Because I remember when that infectious glow would come up to me in other rehabs, I would automatically assume they were faking it and they were full of shit and that they're either using behind closed doors or they're lying about their sobriety. None of it was real because being sober doesn't exist. No human on earth is that insane that they could stay sober. That's what I remember thinking. Yeah.
And fuck you and your happiness.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
Guy scratched his nose in front of the room. I'm like, you did coke before you started speaking,
right.
you fucking lying fuck.
Yeah, I remember thinking that same shit.
Yo, that's hysterical. All right, so what I wanted to know is because you went through the steps.
Yep.
What was different about the second time around? Did you leave anything out the first time? Were you just more thorough? Did you find new things, more detail around some of the things? Like, did you dig it deeper than the first time?
I went really deep this time, and I come to find out I definitely left 2 things out that was never going to see the light of day, that I skirted around, kind of gave my sponsor an idea what they were, but I really didn't want to talk about the details. There's a sexual abuse from a priest thing that was in my background that was never going to see the light of day. That is part of a legal situation right now, and there was my sisters who are awesome. You know, I have 4 sisters in the house, and that's a great middle school story, as I opened up with before. But there was one of my older sisters had a friend that was just using me, you know. And once again, my friends thought it was awesome that I had a great sex story with an older girl, but it was basically rape for a summer when I was, when I was starting to drink. And
you were a kid, and
I was a kid. I was a kid, and it fueled the way I freaking treated women my whole entire life. It also fueled that violence too. I became a very violent boy after that. But I told him about these 2 things, and it felt so good. I don't know what the hell I was so scared about. It felt good to get that off my chest. And
you gotta, the secrets will hold you down. You gotta let them go. Yeah.
He had told me, if you don't want to tell me, you can go tell somebody else, but you do need to tell somebody. And he was, and it says it right now, literature. You got to get that stuff out. Maybe tell a priest or tell somebody, get it out.
That shit only dies in the light. And,
telling a priest about, that's probably not
hard.
The best way to go about
in my situation, that was not going to happen.
No.
In this particular situation.
Yeah, exactly.
I've come to a place of forgiveness in that particular space, so I can actually talk. My girl often asks me, how do you go to church?
Yeah, but
how do you go to church?
A lot of people don't understand, and I struggle with that too, but that's for you. Like, you can't hold that rage. You want to be free. You have to let go of that. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. They're like, I can't. Well, not when you keep telling yourself you can't. Right. Of course, you can't do fucking anything. Right. You can't jump on this fucking, half an inch box if you say you can't, Right. So
forgiving is for you. It's not you're not forgiving to make the other person feel good. I mean, you're forgiving because you got to let it go.
You got to let go. It's stay present, stay in the moment. But it's not fucking easy to do at all. But the way you went about it, writing it down, getting the truth out, seeing it, sharing with God and another human being, that's the start of owning it, looking at it, and then flushing it out and letting go. And and again, I think a lot of people get confused, whether addicts and alcoholics, anxiety-ridden people, just people dealing with life. They think when you let stuff go, it just disappears forever. It comes back. It just doesn't have that same power and strength a lot of times if we do the proper things with it. Like, oh, wait, I gave this to God already. I let it go. I looked at it. It still comes back. It's just the frequency in which it comes up becomes less, and the duration in which it lasts becomes less. And it's just a little less powerful each time. It doesn't just disappear forever.
The good thing about it now, because of that process, it no longer defines me. At this point, I have that freedom that you're talking about.
Exactly. So that's awesome. And one of the things, again, it's not like we get sober and everything just gets better. Like, I want to get into, through this time of sobriety, give me some of the crossroads that you went through. Give me some of the things that happened. Like Justin brought up the cancer situation. Like, what is your sobriety like from that point on? The good, the bad, the ugly, like what's going on?
From 2019 until now.
I mean, I'm getting, I get sober. I think that I'm starting to ride first class sobriety, but I got all sorts of problems. Right? I got a marriage that is now starting the divorce process. Legal papers that were drawn up that, the way they were drawn up needed to be actually redacted, if you may, or changed, amended, so that I could actually go through a proper divorce and and eventually get to the point where I am right now. I am careerless at this particular point. I'm a nomad on just taking jobs, and I'm working really just weird jobs and doing stuff like that. So the first struggle was staying sober. My sponsor actually just had me just get back into the work, get to meetings, go help some people, get some commitments, and everything else
Build
will
that
take
foundation.
and everything else will take care of itself. And he didn't, once again, I've had that experience before. And you guys, AA never disappointed me. God never disappoints me. So, I trusted that was going to happen. But I was jobless. I started a brand new career selling eyeglass supplies. So I found a career. And then while I was doing that, and saving some money, and I get an opportunity to actually run a sober house for a rehab, which I'm still doing right now. I'm about to leave that in 3 weeks.
Is that paid?
You get the room and a small stipend.
Okay.
They give you a stipend. Yeah, you're not getting rich in a sober house. But at the time, I was actually, when I took that job, I was thrown out of a place that I was living, and I had literally no place to live. It came up at the perfect time.
And this is all while you're sober.
This is
trying to get
I'm
stuff
sober.
together.
Stuff just started to happen. I start this job. I have the confidence to actually rebuild a resume, because I had some real shitty jobs for about 3 or 4 years. Now I got a job that's 3 years, and I establish it so I can get the new job that I actually have now. My last, hopefully, career move, because I'm 60 years old. I start to get that stuff. I get involved in the divorce process, and my ex is on board with it. At this particular point, we're changing documents. We're actually divorced. House is actually being sold at this point. She's no longer holding the house hostage at this point, because my little one is graduating college. She's going to go on with her life. All this stuff is stuff that was not going to happen. And like an idiot, I get involved in another relationship. Tongue in cheek, because this girl, when opportunity presented itself, I fell in love with a girl that actually loves me exactly the way that I am, and and this relationship is real solid.
This is your girlfriend now?
She's my girlfriend. She's my girlfriend
and
now.
She's much younger, right?
She is 19 years younger than this guy.
Smoking hot.
All of it. Fong model. All of it.
Nice.
19 years younger. She's in the room. She's a sweet girl, and it's a beautiful relationship. The book talks about.
Does she have an English accent too?
She has a real freaking Long Island Queens blend attitude.
Man. You're gonna feel that if she fucking yells at you.
You don't want to get that angry.
No, it's not Peppa Pig coming out.
No, it's definitely not Peppa Pig.
Long Island girls, when they're angry, are nightmare.
Nah, she winds up being a good girl, and it's all that stuff is just falling into place. And once again, it's all just doing the next right thing. I could hear my friend Lynn, who just died in January, who came to a meeting with Justin one time, little old lady that took a chance on this guy when I first got sober, saying, just do the next right thing. See what I believe in God and do the next right thing.
Lynn, she gave me. She died. Oh no! She gave me the coin.
That's her.
At my 1 year.
That's correct.
Anniversary.
That is her.
She came to my 1 year anniversary, sat with Ninja Mike, and gave me a coin. Oh, I'm so sorry.
I met him before. He was at your anniversary.
1 year, and you spoke. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yep.
So wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. So when was the point where you actually found out something was wrong and you had cancer? You're doing all the right things are coming together. What point did you find out that you were sick?
I got sick before the 2016. The first time I actually had it was end of 2013, end of 2014, I think it was. And I just started vomiting out of the blue. I'm used to vomiting because dope sick. I was like, that's just, and because of what I did, the drinking and the drugging, I suffer from GERD. So I overproduce acid, and that's just what I thought it was. And I go to the doctor to get checked out. They do the endoscopy, and they go down there and they say, well, you really burned the shit out of the top of your esophagus, and you really burned the shit out of the top of your stomach. We took some biopsies, and we're going to take a peek and just make sure you're not in harm's way. And we're going to prescribe protonics for you to reduce the acid, blah, 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 blah. And then I get a call a couple days later, and I'm guessing it's September, October 2014. It was fall of 2014, I think it was. And they say, you got something going on at the top of your stomach, and we got to get in there. It was caught at the beginning, so it wasn't really that bad, but it is stomach. So, and it spreads very, very quickly. And the problem with the stomach is that it goes from the stomach potentially down into the intestines and up into the esophagus very, very quickly.
Absolutely.
So they have to attack that. And And it was awful, actually. They put me on some meds that made me vomit and some other stuff, chemo stuff, and just these awful pills, these horse pills that I had to take that, and thankfully I went into remission very, very quickly. And then I had another bout of it right before I got sober. Summer of 2019, summer of 2020. I don't remember when it was.
Before you went to the last rehab, yeah.
It was after I got out, actually.
Oh, wow.
It was after I got out, and I started feeling it again. And then a little bit came back, and they actually treated it again. And it's been in remission since.
So that was early sobriety. You got cancer again.
In early sobriety, I got it again.
And you just wow, that's a tough time to stay sober, especially in early sobriety. Get a cancer, cancer's back, and that's tough. That's wow.
What my guys did for me, and I think about it now. I didn't think about it then. I'm thinking about doing whatever they tell me to do. My guys told me, do what the doctor tells you to do. And there's no way this crew of guys that I have now would let me sit in a diaper of self-pity and fill it with my shit. They just weren't going to let me do that.
No, the victim thing doesn't work.
It just doesn't. Not with people that are in sobriety. They just won't let you do that. Yeah. They rally around.
It doesn't work for anyone. It's just unfortunately a lot of people out there don't have people that actually love them that'll be like, correct, stop. You're being a fucking bitch, basically. Right. Like, this is not going to help you. People don't have that. We're lucky. Right. But
they enable the victim mentality.
I had a great crew of guys who would say, "When's your next doctor's appointment?"
Yeah, see,
when are you going?
Yeah, hold you accountable.
Yeah. You're going on Thursday? Great, call me when you're done.
Yeah, suit up.
You need a ride?
Yep. Yeah. Let's face this.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's face
it. It was just a whole different world this time, and it sucked. I'm not going to lie about it. And as I sit here on this podcast with you guys, my daughters have no idea that I battled it.
That's crazy.
No idea that I battled this. They eventually they will be told. Eventually they will be told because they need to be told. Because if it comes back again, they need to be told.
Sure.
But they were not told. I put them through enough. I'm like, if it turns really bad, I'm going to have a conversation. But my doctors jumped all over it, so it was really good.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are fighting battles you have no idea about in life. And that's why you don't have road rage, Joe.
I don't have road rage anymore. I get
a person at the light could be battling something really horrible, and you're yelling "cunt, stupid bitch," and all this horrible things.
I don't yell that. I yell that to him. He just makes believe I'm talking to somebody else.
That'll all be solved with the dick thing.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as sticky dicks come out,
sticky dick come out.
I'm never going to say a word. I'm just going to throw a sticky dick at somebody and smile.
This episode has been brought to you by SlippyDick.com. Slippy Dick.
Do not sit in the passenger seat.
StickyDick.com.
Yeah, exactly.
Sticky dicks go. Sticky dicks.
No longer will it be called riding shotgun. It will now be called riding Slippy Dick.
Sticky dicks, not slippy dicks.
I like Slippy Dick.
Of course you do. We know you like slippy dick.
Slippy Dick.
Oh my God.
So
do not turn around.
No, Mike, that's awesome. It's an awesome story, and I love hearing about all the different adversity and just what it took for you to actually get here, right? And that's people think it happens at a drop of a hat, and that's why again seeds are planted. It might take a while to flourish and actually turn into something, but they're there. And given enough light, they're going to show up. One of the things I want you to do is just for the guests right now, kind of sum everything up. Where are you now in life? How do you view life? What are some of the philosophies you live by? Like, what are some of the things that you picked up that really hit home and are just ingrained in your spirit at this point?
I live by the pillars, the 4 pillars. I wake up every single day looking to offend somebody. I want to offend at least one person a day. I need to laugh during my day. I need to love the people that I really love, and I need to be helpful today. Those 4 things are very, very important to me. The offensive part I'm working on, but I'm a product of the 70s and 80s, and I need to offend people.
No, but that's good because you're 2 birds with 1 stone. You could offend someone, and you can help them get over it.
Yeah.
2 birds with 1 stone right there.
Thank you, my friend.
I wanted to come out with a shirt that said, I'm offended, you're offended.
Yeah.
People just get offended too easily.
Way too easy.
But we grew up like that, busting balls, and that's kind of like how we showed love to. I still do it with my friends. We bust each other's chops all the time, but we do anything for each other.
100%.
And there's nothing off limits because, again, the people that you're around know your true intentions. The people that watch you, not just hear what you say, but watch your actions.
100%.
So it's like, and that's the people, that's why I love this guy so much, because at this point in my life, I want to be around people that allows me to just be me, like be who I am, because I become comfortable with that. And thank God for that, because I think that's means everything in the world, right? To be comfortable in one's skin. I just want to be around people where I could just be me, and there's no judgment. So I'm a lot of different humans, wrapped up into one.
Facts.
What I mean? So it's like, I'm going to go all over the place.
Yeah, the good chameleon, not the bad one.
Yeah, exactly. Because again, I don't believe in that self-made man bullshit. I am like a culmination of everyone who's ever made an impact on me. Positive.
Culmination.
Yep, all over your face. But so a culmination of comedians, actors, philosophers, people that inspired me, like my teachers, coaches, whatever it is. Like we get all wrapped up in that. And to me, like what you talked about, being honest, offending people, laughing, right? All those things. Again, that's something that you live by because you want to have a fulfilled life and everybody's different. But to me, that's what the steps help me come to terms with. What makes me tick, right? What would you say like you value the most out of your life at this present moment?
No question about it. The relationships that I have with my 2 daughters and my girlfriend right now. My daughters thought that their dad was going to die. They had a dad that was absentee for a while. They had a dad that they didn't understand what the hell was going on. And at one point when they were little and going through the Disney years, they thought I was a rock star. And then I shattered that image of them by being. And now they understand as they're older. They understand that I was sick and that I'm taking responsibility for it. But man, oh man, there is. My day begins and ends with thoughts of my daughters and how I could be helpful to them today and excessively love them and let them know that their dad is here for them. That's just the way I live my life today. I get to do that, as my sponsor tells me. I get to do that being in sobriety today, and I get to love my girlfriend too. I get to go to work today and actually be productive and be helpful and be wanted and have my opinion and what I'm bringing valued. And that's a far cry from a guy that's in active alcoholism and drug addiction.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Because you live with a sense of gratitude now. So you appreciate the little things.
Big time.
And the big things too.
If I was 60 years old and had a young, hot Long Island girlfriend, I'd be gratitude would be coming out of me like in droves still. Kidding me?
Natalie, that's Justin.
60 years old, got a young, hot fucking girlfriend that has a Long Island.
God almighty.
Well, listen, Mike, it's been a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for coming on and telling your story and being so honest and real and raw. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, man. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
That's a wrap.